What is up, everybody? This is Turorial 99. Today we're going to be covering a little bit on planetary interaction. Now, planetary interaction allows you to extract resources from a planet, convert it into products that are used, for example, to fuel this control tower, to create Tech 2 equipment, and certain sovereignty structures. Now what you'll need are, first off, you'll need command centers like this Baron command center you see here. There are 1,000 M3 apiece. You can get them fairly cheap off of NPC sell orders in HiSec. You just might have to root around a little bit to find them. Then there's a particular set of skills that are also handy under planetary management. One of the first ones here is remote sensing. This allows you to scan planets through the show info command. For example, if you're not in the same system, we could, for example, scan a planet several light years away with this. Then they have planetology and its cousin advanced planetology. These allow you the ability to see sharper resolutions on the thermograph for detecting resources, which I will show here in a moment. Then we have interplanetary consolidation. This skill allows you to have additional planets or command centers on additional planets up to a maximum of 6. Then we have command center upgrades. Allows you to upgrade your command center up a level to a maximum of level 6. As you can see, I've got nearly perfect skills. The 5s just take too long to train. That's the only reason I haven't. Now I have an industrial. I'm sitting here in a pause tower because I'm in nullsec, so you know, industrial ships are not going to take any abuse if someone decides to come through here, so hide in the pause tower. Now I have a Baron command center. I have 3 Baron planets here on my overview. You can also pull them up this way. Show info. We're going to look at look at Planet 2 first. Just right click it. Go to View in Planet Mode. We'll minimize the overview for now. Now you see it brings up the interface. And I see an orbit, but I don't see a customs office. A little strange. Well, HiSec will always have a customs office built. They're controlled by Concord. Out here in nullsec, it's up to the players to build them. Now you see there's 2 options, build and scan. I don't want to build anything just yet. I want to see what's out here on this planet. Now keep in mind this is a nullsec planet, so its readings are going to be much better than what you'll typically find in Empire. I want to look for noble metals. And it's going to load up, as you see here, the thermograph. We can adjust the resolution. Now because I have pretty high skills, I can have a finer degree of control. How much it takes to make it white. Good way of initially identifying where the good spots are. A fairly good spot here for noble metals. Now I want to find base metals. Yeesh. Get there. Cross cross-reference back to the original scan right there. So I should build my extractors. So I should build a base here. I'll build out extractors. So now you have to be in space to be able to drop the command center. That's why I'm in the pause shields. Now, we'll pick right there. And you see it dropped the little command button. You'll see a cost 0 ISK. Building installations on a planet does cost money, but the command center is free. Go ahead and hit submit, and that brings up the additional options. But what we're going to do for now, we're going to exit planet mode. We're going to bring the overview back up, and we're going to dock.
Warp drive active.
Because you don't actually need to be in space to manage the planet, just to drop the command center. Go in here and I'll show you where to find your
Docking permission requested.
how to do your planets without having to be in the system.
Docking request accepted.
Okay, I'll go into Science and Industry, click Planets. Now you can see I have some planets already. I actually never got rid of those from when I lived in Declan. Oops. They don't do anything. They've been sitting idle now for months. I just haven't had the gumption to go get rid of them. Yep, as you can see, we're back on our planet with our lovely control center. The first thing we need to do, as you can see, upgrade level 1, because we just dropped it. Has very little fitting resources and only 500 cubic meters to store within itself for materials. So we want to upgrade all the way up. As you can see, that'll cost 6,310,000 ISK. Go ahead and upgrade. As you can see, I've got 28 million ISK on this guy, so it shouldn't be no big deal. We have edits pending, so we'll hit submit and upgrade our command center. You'll notice the little red and blue semicircles around the command center. That's an eyeball indicator of how much of your power and CPU you're using. Now the first thing we need to do for this chain, we're going to acquire resources. Some nice little patch of noble metals over there, so we're going to build an extractor control unit. Now as you can see, the center is the dot indicating where the building is actually going to be. The white sphere around it indicates where its arms can reach. So we want to put it just on the edge here. So we just get this edge of this in there. Alright. Now we've put that one down. Now we're going to scan out the other resource, the base metals. As you can see, there's a nice little patch over there. So we're going to put down another extractor. That extractor can only extract one resource at a time. So if you want to harvest multiple resources, you have to have multiple extractor controls. Alright, now we have those two down. Now this planet is going to acquire these two materials, process them, take that processed goods and make a more advanced material. In this case, we're going to be making mechanical parts. Now we need a place for all the materials to shuffle through, and in this case we're going to use a launch pad. This has much more space than the command center, and it allows us to directly connect to a launch facility, a customs office in space. And we're going to link these two buildings together. Okay, create link, and we're going to link these two buildings together. Hit submit. And we're going to scan for resources. Over here is where our noble metals are. So you can see our little red pocket right there. Now we're going to have extractor heads. Now, as you increase the area in which they pull, the cycle, you'll notice, increases. At its very smallest, the extractor only runs for an hour. It takes chunks out in 15 minutes. Total output per hour, 15,000 units, which for the base material is not a lot. I prefer to set my extractors to 2 days, 1 hour, and 30 minutes. This is the longest amount of time that you can use 30-minute cycles. And then as you can see here, the amount extracted per head. As you can see, the stars over the extractor unit here in red. You can see the 232.11 was highlighted. That indicates that it's pulling out that much, versus these others which are pulling 22.14. So it's much better on the red spots. Now you'll notice the little minus 0.02% on these two extractors. That's because they're just touching right there. Any overlap messes with the efficiency and tends to come up the works. So you just want just enough extractors to cover your little area without causing too much headache. And sometimes you gotta zoom in. Controls can be a little finicky. Now you can see it'll pull out, over the course of 2 days, 1 hour and 30 minutes, it'll pull out 990,386 units. About 20,000 units per hour. I'm satisfied with that, so I'm going to install the program. You'll see this turn yellow when it takes. Now, we have to route these goods somewhere or they'll just do nothing. We're going to route them to our launch pad so that they can be stored. And then we're going to do similar with our base metals over in this pocket. Move those over here. Now you see this one's going to extract 1,000,007, so we have a little bit more base metals than I am precious metals, but that's okay. Install the program, click the extractor again, route the goods, create route, route them there. Now, when I leave these to their own devices, they will extract and load the material into the launch pad. This will continue until either the cycles end or the launch pad fills up. Now, these things can handle a lot, but I don't think they can handle 2 million units of materials. So we're going to have to process some of this stuff. The way we do that is through basic industry facilities. We're going to put them right next to our spaceport. We're only going to use 3 for now. 2, 3. And we're going to link our facilities to our spaceport so that we have a way to move materials back and forth. Now, in the top set, we're going to make precious metals from the noble metals that we have received. We're going to route it to the spaceport. Install, create route. Boom. Now keep in mind, these cycles are half an hour long. As you can see, cycle time is 30 minutes. We take 3,000 of the noble metals that we're extracting over here. We convert it into 20 precious metals every half hour. So this can handle 12,000. It can handle 18,000 units an hour by itself. So we shouldn't have too much in the way of overflow. Now what we're going to do, we're going to alter this route. I'm going to take this route and delete it. We're going to make a route. First, we're going to create, now notice it routed just the amount it needed to the factory. The rest is still unaccounted for. It won't haul stuff to a place if it doesn't need it, which is good for us because we're going to set routings to our 3 factories. Then we're going to route the rest to the spaceport. On the bottom here, we're going to be making reactive metals. From the base metals, we'll create the reactive metals. Each facility will consume 6,000 units per hour. Set up these routes. Unfortunately, PI is a lot of clicking. A lot of clicking. That's why most people tend to avoid it, especially for the really complex stuff. But I own a control tower. As you saw at the beginning of the video, it was named Urzil's Happy Place. And, well, quite frankly, I really don't feel like buying this crap because I'm cheap. So like before, we're going to route that's why. Got a little click happy. I clicked precious metals when I wanted to click reactive metals. Clickety clickety click. Click click click. Let's try this again. Delete. Now it's going to work. Now, once we hit submit, the extractors will start turning, the facilities will be built, and it'll all be waiting. Well, now what we'll have to do is come back here in a half hour and I'll show you the results. So hit submit and I will see you in a little over half an hour. Alright, it's been a couple hours and as you can see things are moving along nicely. The little white circles indicate the cycle timers on the extractors and the refineries. There's also the external circle indicates if it has product to do its job. And of course this circle indicates the capacity of the spaceport. As you can see, we have plenty of precious metals, reactive metals, noble metals, and base metals have been slowly building up. Now it's time to make our advanced product. For this, we're going to need advanced industry facility. Plop one down there. Plop another one there. I mentioned earlier we're going to be making mechanical parts. You can see 40 reactive metals, 40 precious metals. We're going to route our finished goods from the spaceport to the advanced factory. This way there's no chance of overflow. Now optimally this takes 40 units of each type, and I've only got production capacity for 60. But I do have a little bit of extra. And if things do come down to it, I can make another. I still have enough power on this thing to put down another factory. In fact, I may do just that. This side. Well, this side. Now I'm not setting these up quite the same, because these are going to thrive on nothing but the overflow coming in from the extractors. But it's been a few hours and I've got a little bit of a lead, so it shouldn't be a problem. And as you can see, I just barely got enough power while these factories run. So this should do it. In an hour, I should have all of these up and running with little to no problem. But that's basic PI. Things can get a lot more complicated when you start talking about some of the more advanced items that are available. But that's another show. Thanks for watching, and take it easy.